Hello, guys. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. Oh, well, we'll see if this works. Hello, hello. Is it dark for you guys? I can't really tell. It's fine. Hi. Welcome to the live. Hello. I'm simultaneously doing like a little bit of work at the same time while we hang out and chat, but that's fine. Multitasking is all good. We can multitask all day long. Thank you for the happy little heart. I appreciate it. Am I like too dark for you guys? I can't really tell. The light got all weird. As soon as I hit go on the live, it looked like it washed me out, but I can't tell. So, welcome. I don't know. I just figured we'd hop on and hang out and chat about magic and just be together as we nurse our solar eclipse hangovers, which, oh, hello. Yeah, a little nighttime vibe. I guess so. I didn't think it was going to be as nighttimey, but it's cozy. We're going to go with it. We're going to hang out with it. I like it. Yeah, that solar eclipse was a doozy. The energy was a lot. But we made it through. The hangover is for real. Like, it took effort to get my brain to function this week, and for some reason, like, time had no concept or bearing on anything I was doing. Like, it was really hard for me to like put things into a time, hence why I'm like gonna be doing a little bit of work while we like hang out and chat. I'm waiting for a meditation to actually export. So for those of you who are in my Patreon, I am exporting your monthly meditation right now so I can upload it so it can show up tomorrow morning. So that's what I'm doing. Oh no, hold on. It stopped talking at me. Pause it. Okay, it started talking. We're good. It's a meditation about beginnings and endings. If anyone wants to check it out, it's in the Patreon. I'm really excited about it. It's a good one. It makes me super duper happy. So that's what I'm doing while I'm talking to you all, is figuring that out. Oh, see my nails. They are celestial, like, and they have like a cat eye effect. Basically, I wanted something that was spooky and like space and kind of fun, but not too spooky. Because I'm not a big too spooky, like, I like Halloween for like the cute pumpkin fall vibe, but I'm not super into it for the super spooky anything. So these are my like Halloween nails. I love them though. These are probably my favorite set I've ever gotten. They make me ridiculously happy. My nail tech is incredible. She's the best. If you're in Reno, it's Infinity Nails and they're fantastic. I know that's very specific. If you're in Reno, Nevada, which is not even where I am, I drive like an hour to get my nails done because I'm in too tiny of a town. Yeah, aren't they fun? I love them. Oh, welcome, guys. Yeah, I'm trying to do more lives. So a bunch of you are like, yeah, well, I go to Infinity Nails in Reno. That's where I go. A bunch of people are saying like, hey, like, I've never been in one of your lives, which, like, totally fair. I don't actually do them all that often, or I didn't used to. So I'm trying to find like time to do it. And so I'm going to do one every Thursday, I decided. So Thursdays are going to be my live days. And so you can come and join me and hang out. Scorpio season is coming up. Anything we should know? Honestly, right now, the biggest thing is, hey, we have a lot of energy going through with the lunar eclipse, which is next week. So that is the biggest thing to kind of think about, is that there is a lunar eclipse coming up, which is fine. We love lunar eclipses. They're fantastic. But they are usually an ending, so they usually have a lot of feelings associated with them. Being a Scorpio moon, it makes me, I love this particular eclipse and Scorpio season and this feelings energy that's coming up. I'm here for it. But just know that's kind of what we're focusing on for the next little bit of time. For actual like Scorpio season, as we dive into that, honestly, I think we're going to feel a little bit better than we have felt this entire month. Not that October is inherently like a negative month or something, but this particular month, with the intense activated energy of the eclipses messing with us, it hasn't been fantastic. It hasn't been great. So we're going to feel a lot better come second week of November. Which is going to be awesome. Yeah, Scorpio Moon Club. Heck yes. Damn, that's what that energy was. Yeah, no one's able to ignore the solar and lunar eclipse energy right now because it's a lot. The lunar eclipse is next week. We just had the solar one I just went out and looked at the shadows on the ground when it passed over me. It was really neat. But yeah, that's the energy. That's what we're doing. So yeah, thank you guys for all saying that you love the nails. You guys are so sweet. Oh, I appreciate it. I want to be a comforting present. That's kind of one of my goals. I enjoy being that in people's lives if I can, because like it's a hyperfixation of mine to figure out how the universe works and all this magical weird stuff around us works, and to make it as least scary and easily accessible as possible is like massively the goal. So I'm so happy. Someone said, is it not a great time to do spell work during eclipse season? I don't recommend doing spell work. This is my personal opinion, so keep this in mind. I'm not an astrologer. I'm not going off of like some astrology stuff behind this. This is just my own personal thoughts. I don't recommend doing spell work specifically on the eclipses. So like on the solar eclipse or on the lunar eclipse, trying to use that energy to do the spell work. That's what I would recommend. No manifesting or no shedding specifically on those things. When it comes to the actual like doing it during eclipse season, that's fine. I think it's fine. Just go with what your gut feels, though. If some part of the spell work that you're doing or some part of manifestation or whatever doesn't feel super great in that moment, then don't do it. Don't do it. Just go with what feels the best during this season, because it's truly an energy-led time. So like between solar eclipses and lunar eclipses, we're in this like weird limbo, which is what we're sitting in like presently today. We're in this weird limbo because basically we're like between a beginning and an ending. And we don't really know how either of those are fully going to shake out because we haven't had the other one yet, if that makes sense. So once that comes through, it will be great. I'm ready. I'm ready for this lunar eclipse to happen and for stuff to chill. How did you get into psychic energy at sacred or at ancient sites? That is a great question. It was kind of a long sort of roundabout journey to get there. It is like my massive passion. Like truly my goal would be to have a show going to ancient sites and channeling the different energies there. Like that is what I would love to do. It would be amazing. So that's what I'm channeling in and manifesting myself. Why is it doing this again? Hold on. I'm turning off my computer. Okay, it's doing it. I'm really excited about Stop it! Hold on. Tech has been awful. It's very easy to forget. Hold on, we're getting there. Mute. Got it. My bad. Anyway, so I got into doing it because I've always been a history nerd. And a while back when I was doing a lot of inner child work and I was thinking about like re-raising myself, because that's what essentially you're doing with inner child work, is you're re-raising yourself from the time you were a child. So I was doing a lot of that sort of stuff. I've always been a history nerd, and I started writing my book, Lacusta, a couple years ago, which it is done. I'm just working on edits. For those of you who want to know, I love it, but yes, just working on edits there. So anyway, I started working on Lacusta and really doing a lot of work channeling in her story from ancient Rome. Which was funny, that ancient Rome trend that was going around. Mine is ancient Rome because I have been writing this book forever. And so there's so much going on with ancient Rome in my head pretty much all the time, channeling that in. But anyway, so I started channeling that in, not necessarily at the ancient sites, but just trying to channel in that history. And then every time we would watch like a documentary about like, oh, they discovered this, tomb of this person, or they discovered this thing, I'd tune in and try to see if I could channel the person who it actually belonged to or someone who built it. I'm fascinated by the mundane of ancient history and history in general. Like I'm fascinated by the people that just like were a cobbler, or was a servant in this person's house, or the person that paved that road. Like I always am intrigued by their stories. So I really got passionate about doing it kind of in my personal life, just because it was a fun activity for me to do spiritually. And it kind of, in my opinion, re-raised our history a little bit, the same way you would re-raise yourself when you were reparenting. So it truly was like a re-raising of the energy of basically all of the stories that were taken or washed from history, whether because they weren't the victors or because they were women or marginalized groups, or simply because their story just wasn't deemed right downable. I love that. So that is how I got into it, and it makes me so happy, and I'm very passionate about it in general. So if you guys want to come with me to go do that, we have a trip in Italy that you can go hop on, and then we also have a trip going to Japan next year that you guys can come do that. We're going to go do that live together, and they're like super fun. So that's how I got into it. Thank you for the question. That's like a wonderful, fabulous question. I appreciate you. Yeah, real people, exactly. come to Japan. It's going to be so amazing. Italy's amazing too. Italy is one of my favorite places on the earth, but we're going to like Ostia Antica specifically to channel history. We're going to go into the Vatican and channel objects throughout the Vatican museums, see what their history is like based on anyone connected to that object. It's going to be super duper fun. And of course doing like the forum and stuff like that. I'm going to Florence as well, but I'm really thrilled about that. And also hello. I also really am excited about the Japan one because we're going to go to shrines, and I love Shintoism. So we're going to go honor a bunch of shrines there and talk to different spirits and energies that are around there, and also do some like remote viewing channeled history in some of the oldest markets in Tokyo and Osaka and Kyoto, and go to a sacred shrine with like activated water. It's going to be amazing. So I'm super excited about that one too. So if you want to come, you should come hang out with me. Cleopatra. I feel like she doesn't want her tomb found because the other tomb, the other tombs are exploited. So I've channeled her in about that one. I actually have a video a while back on my page about channeling in Cleopatra when there was rumors that that woman had found her tomb. Cleopatra's brilliant. She's a badass. She's incredible. And she kept herself relevant. Like, this was very intentional to be like, people will never forget me if they're forever searching for me. That was 100% like her vibe. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Is this your tomb though? And she was like, well, I said no man would ever find it and no woman's ever been qualified until this one. So, and she kind of like winked at me. So I do think it is her tomb that the woman is currently excavating. I don't know where her progress is on that, but that was the last time I channeled in Cleopatra. We had a decent conversation. It was probably like 15 minutes long. But yeah. And you don't have to have any psychic protection when channeling at ancient sites. Oh, I totally do. So I always have spiritual hygiene going on. So I'm always clear ground and then like shield. And then I also ask my guides to like keep me shielded, or to basically like if I need shielding, to let me know, like if something's coming at me and they're like, whoa, bro, like stop, because I still want to like chat with the energies that are there too. So when I'm channeling in ancient people who lived during ancient times, it's not necessarily ghosts. Sometimes it's ghosts if I'm at the ancient sites, but it's not necessarily ghosts or all the time ghosts. Sometimes it's people that are on a different plane of existence, and I'm like, hey, who lived here? Does someone want to tell me about this house I'm standing in? And then I'm kind of channeling them kind of from up the top down a little bit. So that makes the energy a little bit different as far as like needing protection. You always need protection when doing spiritual stuff, just in general, just because it's safe. Like the same way you would have your own hygiene, etc. It's just spiritual hygiene. It's the same. We're the demigods, real beings, in my opinions. Yes. So, how can I describe it? If you've watched, okay, so on YouTube, I have a video called, How the Universe Works. And basically it's a video explaining like the layered cake of the universe and how it works in my perception, which I've channeled about quite extensively. As far as demigods being real beings, yeah. So when in ancient times, ancient Egypt, Rome, like that sort of zone kind of ends with Rome a little bit, but ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, Babylon, Sumeria, ancient Eastern societies as well, like during that time period, our vibration was high enough where people or beings could walk on planet as their higher selves, meaning that as they're in their higher self form, they could walk and exist around, which is who we saw them as gods, because they could do more than the incarnated and human body people could. So that is kind of just like a really small gist of it. But so yeah, as far as demigods go, absolutely. It would be like part of a higher self with someone else's soul energy kind of coming together to create kind of a demigod that would have different physical ramifications on planet. So yes. That can go really, really, really deep. I can talk about that forever and ever, but yes, absolutely. Oh, I just saw a bunch of different stuffs all pop up at the same time. Oh, thank you for saying you love the podcast. I so appreciate that. I'm so glad that the podcast is so much fun. I love doing that with Krista. It's the best. Yeah, the story of Artemis being pushed at the temple in Greece was like wild. That's on my YouTube if you want to hear about my experience channeling in the Parthenon, and like on the Acropolis Hill. It was an experience. I feel like I've been accidentally astral projecting. Do you have a way to confirm it? Okay, so I'm not going to tune into your personal energy, but if you ever need confirmation of anything, ask your guides to validate it for you. Like, they understand your map. They know some stuff that's going on, as opposed to you who's just down here on planet Earth trying to figure out how you're going to pay your rent. Like, they're not necessarily doing that. So I always recommend, like, ask them, be like, okay, I think I'm doing this. Can you please validate this for me? Like, make it inevitable that I see this validation and that I understand your message. Really, really helpful. So that's how I always recommend doing it. So asking for validation yourself. Then, bonus effect, it also helps you build a deeper connection with your spirit guides, which is always a good thing. And then you can have more of a conversation because they're responding to you when you're asking, that kind of thing, which I love. Have any interest in collaborating with them? There's generous. Yes, I would love to collaborate with you. That would be incredible. Let me know. Shoot me a DM. Let's do this. I would absolutely collaborate with an archaeologist. 100%. I've worked with historians before, but yeah, message me, my dear. Let's do it. I love it. How is your heart today? My heart is good today. Thank you for asking. Honestly, I'm feeling better. My eclipse hangover is passing, which I appreciate. So, yeah. Oh, it would be so epic, right? Oh my gosh. Energy forecast for the weekend. Tomorrow is Miscommunication Central. Miscommunications are rampant tomorrow and Saturday. Yeah. So just take extra time to process what you're going to say before you feel and then react to it. Like, absolutely. Please do. Just process what is coming out first. If you do miscommunicate, do not be afraid to be like, oh, sorry, my bad. I miscommunicated that. Let me refresh. Or I think I didn't communicate that correctly. That is totally fine. That is the energy I would look at this weekend because that is going to be huge. I also think we're going to see some kind of like larger grand scale miscommunications that come up. Like, that's how big of an energy it is. And I'm intrigued by it, to be totally honest. Like, I'm here for it. I want to know how those are going to show up. But definitely it's a thing. So that was what I would say. Also, follow the where your energy is leading you. That is like my whole thing for this eclipse season, is literally like follow where energy is leading you. Basically being like, if you don't have the energy to wash the dishes, but you do have the energy to go for a walk or maybe fold your laundry or something like that, don't put pressure on yourself to wash the dishes instead. Instead, be like, okay, well then I'll follow where this energy leads me, knowing that the energy is leading me back to the dishes later. Like, genuinely following those steps, because that is why we are working through it. Oh, I'm so glad I crossed your FYP again. Honestly, this app is so wild. I don't understand why it limits what it does. It's super intense. So I'm glad I'm on your FYP again, and that these lives are actually hitting. I am going to be trying to go live every Thursday, sometime between like 4-ish p.m. and like 6-ish p.m., depending upon the day, Pacific time. So yeah, if you want to hang out with me every Thursday. We'll hang out. We'll talk magic-y stuff, which I love to do. My energy tells me to go to bed. Rock on. That sounds lovely. Naps are fantastic. Oh, when you joined, it said 143. That's amazing. I love that too. Thank you guys so much. I was trying to work while doing this live. Has technology been bad for anybody else this week? I'm trying to figure out if it's just my energy and like what's going on in my energy zone. Me and Hermes are in a fight. So again, if you know the story, I've talked about it on the podcast multiple times. It's a long extended thing. Anyway, I keep trying to figure out if it's just me that tech is being super wonky, but God, it's bad. Yeah, so glitchy. Okay, cool. Because like I've been talking to clients, and a couple clients are like, no, it's been fine. I'm like, I can't do any of it. It's just been wild. Yeah, okay, cool. It's everywhere. I know it was like a Mercury Kazemi today, because I reached out to Krista and I was like, Krista, what is the planets? And they were like, it's a Mercury Kazemi. So I knew that, but God, it's been just so annoying. And it's like a heavy tech week for me too, which was just bleh. Speaking of which, it's a heavy tech week because I have a really super exciting announcement coming on Saturday that I can't wait to share with you guys. So pay attention. I can't announce it yet, but on Saturday I will. Yeah. Yeah, so Hermes isn't actually even a guide for me. We have a tense relationship, actually. So my play fight with a deity started because I got a hamster. I wish I could show you it, but that later in the story I'll tell you what it is. So I got like those, those wormy stuffies. I was like, ooh, I want one of those to sit on my lap while I work. It'll be grounding because stuffed animals are inherently very grounding, as are normal animals. Well, depending upon the type of normal animal. But they're pretty grounding. And I was like, oh, okay, so it can sit on my lap while I work. So I got the stuffy, and it's a hamster, and it's super cute and super nerdy looking. It's like, so I've got it, and I was like, oh, what should I name it? Because I name everything. And immediately Apollo, who is my guide, came in and was like, Hermes, and then just like cackled. And I was like, fuck. I can't not name the hamster Hermes now, because every time I look at it, all I'm going to think is that. And that pissed him off. So I have it. And I was like, no, like, I didn't mean to make you mad. He was mad. Hermes like was mad and messed up technology for me for like 2 weeks straight after that point, like on purpose. And then we kind of made up, because basically I like gave him a little bit of an offering, and I was like, hey, we're all good. Like, will you please help me travel to this place? And he was very like, we made up, we got better. Well, now I have moved. Right before I moved, I let my daughter use Hermes the hamster when we were cleaning our old house. And he was like, I hadn't done my office yet, but I'd done pretty much every other room. And she was there hanging out with me. And I was like, here, you want to sit on this blanket and cuddle my hamster? And you can like read and hang out while I clean the office and like get stuff ready. And she was like, yeah. Well, I don't know what box Hermes ended up in. I have no idea. And when during Mercury retrograde a couple weeks ago, I went to tune in to Hermes, and I was like, hey, like, what's the energy going to be like for this Mercury retrograde? And he's like, find my hamster and I'll tell you. And so, like, first of all, now you want the hamster? What a completely Hermes move of you. And second of all, I have no absolute idea where it is. Not a clue. So I don't know if he's hiding it and then like messing with, I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, I currently, am in a play fight with him, I guess, again. So yeah. I've been dying to ask you about Hecate. I think she's calling me, but I'm a little scared. So Hecate is quite a trip of a deity. She is in this gaggle of deities right now that are all very divine feminine deities that are hardcore rising. And when I say rising, I like literally mean like we're finding ancient temples dedicated to them, like Medusa and Hecate and Aphrodite have been popping off, but it's not just Grecian deities. These are just the ones that like I know of off the top of my head as far as the actual ancient temples that have been discovered. But this divine feminine rage is coming to the surface in a truly powerful way right now. So if she's reaching out to you, I would recommend before you even start working with her, start addressing, do you have divine feminine rage that needs to be expressed? And that goes for everybody. I'm not just talking like just women have that. We all have divine feminine, divine masculine. Like it's a balance of like energetic forces. It's not like a gender thing. But is there a divine feminine rage in you that needs to be expressed in some way, or at least understood in some way? Because most likely that's what's at play as far as deities like Hecate and stuff kind of reaching out, is giving you an avenue to express that and honor that and use her help to do so. Aphrodite too, for sure, and Venus. Kali was coming up as well, and Isis was coming up as well in association with this. And I was trying to tune in the Norse gods, and I just got pure Valkyrie energy. So there we are. Yeah, you're super welcome. Yeah, Druga too. Totally Druga too. 100%. Oops. Stop it, click comments. No, stop it. Okay, there we go. Is there such thing as having headaches during a spiritual awakening? Absolutely. If you're getting headaches while you're trying to tune in and either do readings for people or having a spiritual awakening or like tap into your psychic abilities, meditate, you name it, ground your energy, please. Grounding your energy is a super duper duper important step in doing spiritual stuff. It's also the step that most people forget to do because it's the step that people are like, oh no, it's fine. And you don't necessarily feel the most about it. So like clearing your energy, you notice. When you clear your energy, you notice right off of the bat. When you shield your energy, you feel protected. You have like a protection thing. When you ground your energy, at first when you're doing the grounding, most often, you are just connecting with Earth, Earth's connecting with you. So it's kind of just a little exchange of energy and not a lot shifts. But as you do spiritual work, when you're grounded, you're pulling in from the battery that is Earth and letting that battery sustain your energy so that you don't burn yourself out. And that's the goal. We don't want to burn ourselves out. We don't want to hurt ourselves. Yeah. So great question. If you're having headaches, please do some grounding. And of course, not a medical professional. I'm just saying that does happen because you burn out some of your energy. Do you use sage? I do not use white sage. It is a closed practice. It has been asked the like native peoples have asked us to not use white sage because it is sacred and it's not for us. I do use garden sage. I will do pine. I do different incense. My favorite is this one, copal incense. This is like my favorite incense, honestly, because it makes me feel very connected to the act of ritual because it smells like the Catholic Church to me, which is, I know, really weird, but I was raised in the Catholic Church and that's the first place I ever did rituals. So now when I do rituals, I use something that reminds me of the Catholic Church smell. So yeah, there's that. Palo Santo is also being over harvested. So again, I recommend using other things with other intention. Cinnamon incense, amazing. I love it. Cinnamon incense is great. Oh, when you joined, I was talking about Aphrodite and Isis. I'm just talking about this divine feminine rage sort of rising. That's coming up right now. So, great question. Oh, does anyone have any fun plans for the weekend that you're excited about? I'm all about doing fun stuff. Yeah. Or, like, is anyone... I don't even know if we can see the lunar eclipse. I haven't checked. Did anyone see the solar eclipse? Was it cool where you were? That would be amazing to know. You're going camping. Oh, how fun. Happy birthday. Camping. Super fun stuff. Hiking in Puerto Rico. Amazing. Enjoy. A witchy party on Saturday. Guys, what wonderful stuff. Trying to catch a meteor shower. Awesome. Roller skating. Oh, I love it. Spooky movie night tomorrow. Very fun. Very fun. My friends are coming to celebrate my divorce. Congrats on your divorce. Celebrating with you too. I don't know. I live in Berlin, so maybe something raunchy. You raunch it up. Be safe in your raunchness. Oh, you guys, this is wonderful. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. What wonderful things you all are doing. Oh, that's an amazing compliment. I'm so happy to remind you of Greta Gerwig. That's an incredible thing to say. I was at a farmer's market during the solar eclipse. I let a few people use the glasses I brought. Amazing. Yeah. What are my plans this weekend? Great question. I am going... What am I doing on Saturday? On Saturday, we're carving pumpkins. And it's going to be fun. And then on Sunday, I'm going to go down and go thrifting in a different town. And then go to like a... It's like a collection of farms that do a lot of like Halloween-y fall stuff. So like craft fairs, and there's a train, and you can do apple launching and pumpkins and, you know, apple cider donuts and all of that fun stuff. So we're going to go do that on Sunday too. So a nice like connection time with my kids. My kids were doing soccer for the last couple weekends, so we were like eaten up by soccer time, and so now we're not doing soccer, and it's, well, not right now this weekend, and it's really nice. So yeah, it's going to be lovely. I'm going to a pirate seafood festival. That's what you just said? That is cool. Where's a pirate seafood festival? I would be all about that. I 100% would dress in my pirate garb for that. The Hill of the Apples. Yes, that's correct. Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. I really love Space Coast, Florida. Fun. Have I channeled griffins before? Yes. I actually haven't done a lot of work with griffins. I've only channeled griffins a couple of times when they've come through as somebody's guide. And I know that they exist in one of the realms that are like Venn diagrammed with ours. Yeah, like absolutely. So they're like a next door realm sort of space. But I have channeled them before. Honestly, they have a lot of attitude and they take no lip from anybody. They're just like, really? Like they are very intense. But yeah, I have channeled them before. Not a lot. Not like the same like I've channeled other beings. I've channeled those a lot more, but a couple times. Ooh, we're going to New Orleans for Halloween. Have you ever been? Any advice? I have never been to New Orleans, actually. I've wanted to go, very much so. I know Rebecca, the ghost guide, I was talking to her about her trip a couple of weeks back because she went and took people a little while ago, and it's really cool. I have not gone. What I would recommend, though, because it's going to be super activated on Halloween, just make sure you like clear ground and shield. If you can wear any sort of like metal like rings or something on your body is just like an extra layer of like deflection protection, and just tell your guides the type of experience you're looking to have. Right? Like if you want to go talk to ghosts or whatever, they will be out and partying too, because that's how they roll. But just like make sure your guides are informed of your intentions for the evening to help it go off without a hitch. It's going to be super fun, or the weekend, or however long you're there. I'm so stoked on that. That's awesome. Ooh, what kind of metal? Whatever metal you resonate with. So if you're a gold person, gold. If you're a silver person, silver. If you're a platinum person, platinum. Like whatever feels good to you, whatever makes you feel grounded and comfortable, that's it. It's kind of my ideas with crystals too. So like people will oftentimes ask like, what crystals are good for this? What crystals are good for that? And in my personal opinion, and no hate on anyone who like sells crystals and has a different view of them, like amazing, or like practices with crystals. Like I trust your opinion on this as well. But in my personal opinion, each crystal, an individual crystal specimen tells you what it's for. So like I have a bunch of crystals all over my desk. I'd show you guys, but it would take a lot of moving and I'd be wearing a knock over the camera. But like I have crystals, like this is a jasper. Jasper's one of my favorite for grounding. It's kind of an orangey red color, so maybe it's because of root chakra things, but this particular one told me it was for calming myself down when I was channeling and any intense information was coming through. So if you're ever on a reading with me and you see me pick this up, if there's something intense going on, it's usually to like help calm my energy down. So there's that. There's like, I have lepidolite here. This is actually, this particular specimen was like, oh, I want to be for like magical stuff. Like this is a really cool specimen, by the way. It's like all shiny. Isn't that cool? But it wants to be for like magic activating stuff. I know that typically lepidolite and things like that, I have a butterfly of it over here. Nope. Over there as well. Is for like helping with anxiety, but this specimen wanted to be for magic. So that's what it's for. So to me, in my opinion, it's specimen by specimen. Not necessarily as a general theme. Oh, thank you. Give you a heart right back. I also have a copper heart here that I love for grounding because I like this metal. It feels nice in my fingers. And this particular specimen said for grounding. So yeah, things like that. Metal helps. All sorts of stuff like that helps. Yeah, aren't they pretty and fun? Yeah. The pretty one, this is lepidolite. Yeah, I have again, I want to turn the camera, but my tripod is not the sturdiest of tripods. I don't want it to fall over. But this is lepidolite. And some of it's sheeny and some of it's more like a sparkly purple. And this one's like a very sheen one. I'm missing some of my crystals too. They're still in boxes somewhere. It's okay. We're getting there. We're moving in. Moving doesn't have to be a race. I keep telling myself that. Good evening. Good evening. Does rose quartz have any special meaning? I always hear it has to do with love. If a specimen tells you that it has to do with love and it's a love amplifying stone, fantastic. I usually associate rose quartz with self-love stuff, unless it tells me otherwise. And so I let the specimen let me know. I have put crystals and different variety of quartz around my house because they're very conducting. Like most quartz I've ever run into have this very conductive energy, which means it allows for more energy manufacturing basically in the space. And because of me honoring my space, doing a lot of energy work in here, I do a lot of, I put the crystals around and help them amplify the energy. Oh, I appreciate you too. Thank you so much. I'm not doing any readings right now. I never do readings on live. If you want to get readings from me though, by all means, go check out the link in my bio. It has all of the things. I also have a free thing there too. I don't know if everyone knows about that, but I have a free offering on my link in bio too to help you figure out what your psychic abilities are, because everybody has them, not just me. I do have crystals in my bedroom. I actually have a bunch of crystals underneath my mattress that are flat that help with like healing while sleeping. And then I have a couple towers of fluorite, which are magic amplification for me. That's how they feel for me. And what else do I have? I have a bunch. Sorry, a motorcycle just drove by. It distracted me. I have some quartz. I have a big quartz point, actually. And some... It's the purple one, but not the lepidolite. It's the... What's it called? The purple one. The purple quartzy one. Help my brain. Amethyst. Thank you, guys. That one. Oh, I'm glad my reading with you changed your life. That makes me so happy. Thank you. I'm so honored. Like, readings for me is just like me translating. That's how it feels. And I'm just so lucky to get to translate information that helps you guys. Like, that is really cool. Yes, Cinnamon moved with us. Cinnamon is my kitchen fairy. He's an interesting being, and I love him. He's hilarious. But yes, he did move with us. He did. Also, my upstairs, like my office fae, there was two of them. If you guys remember the story about how they grew a pine tree out of nowhere in one of my potted plants, yeah, they also came. They always sit, one always sits on top of the other's shoulders. I don't know what their deal is with that, but it's really precious. Yeah. I worked with a tree spirit for a bit now. A bunch of mushrooms popped up. Sign of happy. Yep. Sign of happy tree or happy fae or happy yard in general. You switching that energy. Fantastic. I don't have a free video. I have a free, it's like an exercise, like a worksheet almost. It's the link in my bio. It'll say free exercise. You can find it there. And it'll help you figure out your own psychic abilities and your clear senses. Yeah. Are fae bad? No. I did a whole YouTube on them actually, so don't want to dive super into it because I'm not talking about a specific religions or like cultural practice in regards to fae. Any of those cultural beliefs I think are valid and beautiful and awesome. My personal experience with fae they're not bad. They're pretty neutral. They're just like people in the sense that some are shitty and some are fantastic and there's a whole mess in between. And that is how I've always treated them. So I have boundaries with them the same way I have boundaries with people. That kind of thing. So yeah, I've done a podcast episode about it and I have a whole YouTube video dedicated to it. Yes. Love your weekly forecast. How do you see or feel the energy ahead? Great question. This is going to make, I hope this makes sense. I'm going to describe it the best that I can. So I can see energy with my physical eyes. So I will look at the energy like through time, and I can also see it in my mind's eye too. So I will like look at the energy at the start of the week, be like, this is the energy we're in now, awesome, and kind of look ahead through that using mind's eye stuff. Then I translate those images into words and understanding through like just knowing sense. Plus sometimes my guides will come in and weigh in as well. So it's like 3 or 4 different things kind of all combined to have a pretty interesting effect. That allows me to understand what energy is heading our way in the week. My podcast is called The Alchemist's Inkwell. That is also linked through my bio. Yeah. Yeah. I also have a Patreon too in there, just to throw that in as well. And I do like monthly meditations in there. That's what I was doing right before I hopped on here. Some of you got to hear a little beginning snippet of it because it wouldn't shut off my computer. But I do monthly meditations and group reading stuff and all sorts of fun stuff. So I also have another like a group reading next Friday if you guys are needing some individual clarity too. Oh, thank you. Yeah, aren't they cool? I've showed them before, but I'm going to show them again because I think they're awesome. They're like stars and moons and like it's cat eye and it's fun. It makes me so happy. This is space. Thank you. This is my actual wall and then I just put like a sparkly light on it. Like our new house is massively cool, original 70s. A lot of stuff is original 70s in here, but like in a really cool way. This is part of it and I love it. Obsessed. Oh, thank you. Thank you for reporting every account that dupes me. I know it's not an individual problem. It's not like I'm the only one that's getting duped. I don't understand why the big accounts why the big apps won't do anything about it. It's Instagram. It's here. It's absolutely insane. And I have reported, like I will report every week I go in and report, I don't know, somewhere between 25 to 50 of them, like just getting them out. None of them have been removed. So anyway, thank you for doing your due diligence. I will never slide into your DMs and ask you to pay me money. That would be weird. So not doing that. Oh, you're so welcome. How do you know when a new guide wants to work with you? Can they come through in dreams? They can totally come through in dreams. Absolutely. They totally can. They will typically reach out to you in some way, whether through dreams or signs or validation in some capacity, sometimes in channeled writing, sometimes they just pop in. It just depends on you and your unique clairsenses and how you process energy and all of that magical stuff. But yeah, dreams are a super activated space where guides like to hop in. And I always make them prove themselves. And I know that sounds weird, but I'll be like, hey, I felt you in my dreams. If you're supposed to be a guide of mine, like, I need validation that I should move forward on this from my other guides. And I need like validation that I saw you and that, you know, this is who you are, etc. And I ask them for that because they're the magical, omnipotent ones that can move around reality, and we can't do that as easily. So make them work for it. Yeah. So dreams are really interesting. So we actually dream on two different levels energetically. There's body-based dreams that come from kind of our body space, and then there's soul-based dreams or energy-based dreams. And those are the ones, the energy-based dreams or soul-based dreams where you're like, wow, you wake up in the morning, you're like, did I go somewhere else? Did I do work? Like, what was this energy? Like, this is totally different. I saw all sorts of stuff, like wild. And then the dream, the body ones are more like, oh my gosh, what if you're late for work in the morning and you have kind of that expression of pent-up energy and subconscious sort of stuff. There's a very distinctive feeling between the two energies of the dreams. So if there's some dreams you're like, wow, I'm totally traveling, those don't have to be synonymous with the dreams you have about work or like your cat or those don't have to be one and the same. They are truly different energy spaces, and you can totally have both. Even in one night you can have both. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. And I will say, when you set intention before falling asleep, when you're like, oh, I'm setting this intention before I go into bed that I, want to have an impactful dream tonight, or I don't want to dream tonight, I want to wake up feeling rested, or I want to remember one of my dreams tonight, you name it, it helps a lot. It is about consistency because there is a like practice training muscle sort of situation that comes along with it, but absolutely. Yeah. Ooh, where did we go? How can you learn your guides' names? Names are a very human thing. Names are a very human thing. Oftentimes when I will ask guides, other people's guides for their names in readings or things like that, I won't get anything, or they'll pick something kind of arbitrarily. Occasionally they're like, this is my name, and it's this like long name, whatever. So I don't recommend focusing super heavily on names. Call them whatever the heck you want. If you know there's two of them, or you have a feeling that there's this one you keep interacting with, call them something. Honestly, the more ridiculous, the better, because then they'll come through and pick a different name like that they actually want to be called, and that's the closest way you can get to it in my experience. Like, I once called a guide Banana Hammock for like 6 months because he wouldn't tell me his name. So his name was Banana Hammock. That's not his name, but that's what I called him, because names are truly a very human convention, and some guides participate in it, and some of them just really don't give a shit. And so don't stress too much on that. It's more about getting to know a conversational person, and like your understanding of them is a name. It's just an energetic one that we don't put in our human label. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. I swear Peter Pan is one of my guides. Hey, everything exists in energetic reality. Characters are typically channeled in and based on something, so do not discount that ability or possibility. I wanted to know how to restore my energy when it's really low or empty like a dead battery. Energy callbacks. First off, ground your energy. You can ground in a million different ways. My favorite is to put my hand on my head like this. It makes a circuit. It pushes the energy downward. When you pull your hand off, earth energy comes back up to refill you. That's a simple, simple way. Then call back your energy. Literally just saying out loud, like, all my energy returns to me now. It helps if you have your feet on the ground. And then just soak your energy back up like you're a gigantic sponge. Usually takes like 30 seconds. You'll feel kind of complete when you're done. Give yourself a little energy clearing. Make sure nothing clinged onto you and held on for the ride. And you're good to go. It will really, really help replenish. This is later live than usual. Honestly, I don't really have a vibe time. I try to do it around 4 o'clock, but I was working on a meditation for my patrons, and they were doing road work outside, so I couldn't record it or do this without a bunch of road work noise. So I was waiting for that to go away. It went away, and I handled this. So here we are. Yeah. Yep. You call back energy from so-and-so, whatever. You can do it from a specific person, or you can just do it in general. 3:30 a.m. here. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for being on the live. I hope you're okay and you're getting good rest. Sending you all of the love. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Emily, is it possible for past life energy to linger in this lifetime? Yep. Yes. It can. It's different than like the idea of karma necessarily. I don't buy into the idea of karma in the way that a lot of new age sort of teachings go along with it. I think that's a way of making ourselves feel shamed for stuff we didn't do. And I think that that is not good or healthy. I'm not talking about like the Hinduism belief in karma. I'm talking about like the new age sort of stuff about karma. What I am talking about with past life stuff is sometimes things don't get completed in a past life. And it doesn't mean you're doomed to repeat this cycle again. It means that maybe you had a past life where your house burned down and you never got to get another house, right? You never got to have the feeling of safety again. So you have this lingering feeling of safety that didn't get resolved. So in some future lifetime, maybe 7 lifetimes from now, you have a lifetime and you have this weird feeling the whole time that you don't have safety, and because that bit didn't get resolved. So now you're going through it so you can resolve that energy and release that and kind of tie the knot and bow that up, and go on about your way. So yes, the past life stuff can continue on in blocks, in energetic wounds. Sometimes you have wounds in past life from your past life in your energy space. Cleared one of those just today. That was pretty significant. And with like unfinished business, basically. Thank you. I am having a splendid week. I do private readings. Absolutely. My calendar is booked out a little bit, couple months. So do look ahead a couple months. I do also do group readings though, that are a max of like 18 people. And then kind of do it gallery style where we do like 1 question stuff. And one of those is actually coming up next week. But for private readings, bookings, all of that, you can look at my link in my bio and you'll be good. Thank you. I appreciate it. There's a lot of hair. I actually need a haircut. Not that I'm going shorter. I just need to like relayer it up because I have so much of it that it needs to, it needs to get thinned out. Like I literally, this is my hair tie. Like it's this big because I can't use the small ones because I have so much, which I'm not complaining, but it does need to not be as heavy right now. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys. You're so sweet. What hair products do I use? Organic ones that are cruelty free because I love the critters. Honestly, I don't do a lot with my hair at all. I know it's awful. Like I hate to even admit it. I really don't do very much to it. It just kind of exists. I use henna on it. But that's usually for like conditioning and stuff, but only like once every couple months. But yeah, no, it just is. I barely brush mine. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna try, if not a butterfly haircut, gonna do like a wolf haircut, but kind of without the bangs. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I just need a ton of layers in it so that it has dimension and it doesn't just like, just hang. You know what I mean? So I'm working on it. My hairstylist moved away over summer, and so now I'm also dragging my feet because I have to find a new one. And I don't like that. Yeah. I know. I'm like, no, my hairstylist. And then also one of my really, really close friends who is also my like tattoo artist. She also moved over summer, which I'll still travel to go get tattoos from her. She's like 2.5 hours away. But I was like, no, you're so far now, Eleanor. Like, what am I going to do? So it's been a transitional time as far as appearance stuff goes. Yeah, right? It's so hard to find a hair person. Like, and my hair person does come back every once in a while to like do cuts and stuff, but it's just kind of like an extra like layer of trying to schedule things. It's just kind of challenging. Do you have any tips or tricks on how to visualize or see spirit guides? Yes, I have a whole ton of them. The first tip or trick I always offer is make sure you're not just trying to pay attention just to a visual sense. You have a crap load of other senses. Use them. What do they look like or feel like? What do you just know about them? Is there a taste that you're feeling or a smell? What does your body feel like? What emotions are you feeling? Pay attention to all of your senses. And this I give to people with apatasia who can't visualize as well, because you can still do all this meditation and connect with your guides and understand what they look like. You don't have to see them. So that is like my number one piece of advice when it comes to figuring out your guides. And then figuring out what clairsense you're strongest at, which is, again, that free exercise in my thing will help you with that, or I have tons of videos on it, like go check them out. But whatever clairsense is your strongest clairsense is going to help you a lot in figuring out how you should focus on seeing your guides, or viewing your guides, or just knowing your guides, or hearing your guides, you name it. That'll help. Yeah. No, I'm not doing readings. I don't do readings on live, but can all mean, like, I do readings in general, just I don't do them on here, so you can check that out if you want to. Do you think spiritual gifts / blockages run in family lines? Oh yeah. So not necessarily spiritual gifts. Sometimes types of spiritual gifts do. Everyone has their own psychic spiritual abilities. Everyone is psychic. Everyone is magic. I mean that from all of my soul. I've never met someone who doesn't have the ability to tap into this. Some people choose not to, and that's totally their journey, and I respect that fully. But I've never met someone who couldn't. You absolutely can. However, blocks and things like that, more specifically, absolutely run in family stuff. That's actually someplace like in my mentorships and stuff. I do actually typically ask, first of all, like, is there something you notice about your parents that you wish was different, like a block that you know they have that you wish they would overcome? Well, if you focus on healing that block in yourself, typically they will overcome it too, because you do it on a DNA level and it was probably passed to you from them, and that is a way you can actually heal that. So they absolutely are passed in ancestral lines, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I do past life stuff in readings all the time. I love past life stuff. I think it's amazing. That's part of why I do the channeled history stuff. Why sometimes when I see your videos, your eyes are two different colors? Honestly, I don't know. So my eyes they're not symmetrical in their color scheme. I will say that. So it's not quite like heterochromia. Like they're green, but they have like a green gold balance thing that happens. That's weird, just naturally in life, like when I look in the mirror. But sometimes on the videos, they show up two different colors, and it's weird because the lighting is always the same. I honestly don't know. So I don't know if it's a tech thing. I don't know if it's a like energy. I'm not 100% sure. So I don't know why my eyes show up two different colors. They're green. They have gold elements to them, and the gold is the part that's off balance, but yeah. Mini explanation of all the clairs. Clairvoyance is sight. Clairaudience is hearing. Claircognizance is just knowing. Clairsentience is physical feeling. Clairempathy is emotional feeling. Clairtangency is touching. Clear touch. And then there's clairgustance, which is clear taste. And then clairsalience, which is clear smell. Little mini explanation. There you go. Yeah, eye color can change with moods for sure, but it's just like one changes. Like this one will be darker in videos sometimes than this one. It gets like, it's really weird. I don't know what the deal is with that. Have you ever seen a Pleiadian? Yes, I have. Multiple times. I've channeled them in multiple times, and I've astraled there. Yep. Tips for cleansing without candles or burning anything. Sing or make a lot of noise. Shining light on certain places also is a really great thing for cleansing. Rearranging furniture is a great thing for cleansing. Using water that you've activated with a certain energy, whether that is moon water or you've just decided that water has that intention. All of those things are great for clearing energy of spaces without burning anything. I didn't know clear taste was a thing. It happens when I see people. Yep. Clairgustance. Yeah. Oh, cool. You're going to the ship. Nice. Astraled there a bunch before too. Very interesting. Have fun. Yeah, differentiating empathy and sentience is huge. So there's clear feeling, and that doesn't mean like, so clear empathy is clear feeling. It's where you're perceiving energetic information through emotional feelings. Then there's clairsentience, which is where physical feelings. Those are two different senses. And with clair empathy, that doesn't necessarily mean just empath stuff. Like that person's sad, now I'm sad. No, it means like, hey, I can tell what the guide is feeling because I'm feeling their feelings. Or every time I get this wave of a very specific emotion, I can translate that into, oh, it's from this, there's a ghost over there, because I always get this emotion when there's a ghost in the room. That's what it is like. So, absolutely. Oh, hello, crystal ball that I didn't have near me that just rolled to me. Did you guys just see that? That was it. I guess I'm supposed to hold it. Cool. I'm glad you guys got to see that one. That was awesome. That is like the third time that these balls have done something really weird. They were up on this like little shelf that I have over here before, and they like launched at me. And then just now it rolled my way. So I'm just going to hold this little guy. Maybe it's upset that I didn't introduce this crystal. when I introduced a bunch of my other ones earlier in the live. Cool. There's that. I was talking about spirits too. Honestly, it is Hope, my protector guide. She came through and shoved it. That's who it was. You guys got to witness it. Welcome to my day-to-day. And I will hold it. That's my name. Funny. I actually named her Hope because she's always around. And so I decided that was her name. Because that's another thing that's always around. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. How did I realize I was psychic? I've always been this way. When I was really little, I thought everyone was this way. And so when people would talk about, like, imaginary friends, whatever, I thought that was just, like, the people they were talking to. Or, like, media and shows actually reinforced it because it seemed like all these people could see and do these things on these, like, shows and movies and whatever. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay, everyone can do this. And then when I realized not everyone could do it, that's when I freaked out. So then I was, like, seven or 8. And then from there, it was a process of shutting it down the best I could, which didn't work very well, but just made me very afraid of it, and then gradually learning how to reopen it, which is what I help a lot of you guys with now, because I've been there, and I've worked through it to make it as easy as possible. What's it like when someone walks by me and I can feel where they feel physical pain? That is called clairsentience. That is clear physical feeling, and that is a psychic sense. Good question. How do you reopen your psychic abilities? You start by figuring out what your senses of perception are and what gift you want to work on. Then you do block healing and releasing work, because no matter what, healing work is always going to help you with magical stuff, even if it seems entirely unrelated. And then you practice. And I know that sounds super simple, and I know there's a million questions, but I promise that is the basis and gist of it. And I do have courses, if you want to check those out, that can help with that. You're not the least psychic person in here, I promise. Everybody has their own psychic abilities, and I promise you can use yours too. The just knowing sense is claircognizance. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Oh, wow. I totally let time get away from me. I do actually need to sign off of this and finish a little bit of work and then go have dinner with my kiddos now that I just saw this. I'll do my best to post this to YouTube in the next couple days. I am going to be doing these lives every Thursday. So sometime between like 4-ish and 6-ish, I'll be on live every Thursday. So come hang out with me. It's super fun. I love this. I'm glad that you guys got to witness whatever that was about. I'm setting that back over here. Stay. It's in a little like cup, like it shouldn't be able to roll. Anyway, she totally threw it at me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I'm in Pacific time. And yeah, I will see you next week. And again, I'll post this to the YouTube. I have a bunch of videos on there. I was trying to post the one from last week, but technology has been awful this week. So bear with me, but I'll get them up there. Hopefully in the next couple days. Awesome. Bye everybody. Have a lovely weekend.